let's get started. Let's get it started in here. First, turn on the pen. How do we turn the pen on? Not sure. All right, we figured it out. Okay, so you're going to want to download your templates first. Go over to the web page. You can click on select photos, select all and download them all, or if you prefer only certain nail types, then you can just select at the bottom all the ones that you want individually, and then you'll just click download. Let's see, I'm going to download this one. So hit download. It's going to download it to your files on your iPad. If you prefer to have it in your photo gallery, go ahead and click on it from your downloads, and then you can go up here to share and save the image. It'll save it to your gallery. All right, let's go ahead and open Sketchbook. I have something open already, but I would like to show you how to get to your gallery in Sketchbook. So you're going to click gallery over here, and then you'll hit this little top arrow. This is going to give you a place to add albums. So within each album, you can have multiple sketchbook documents. You can also export these as PDFs or anything else that you like. When you're inside the document, you can even export it as a JPEG to send to somebody, or you can even just screenshot it and send it to them that way, whichever is easier. So we're going to go ahead, you can create a new album if you'd like and give it a name, and then we'll go ahead and click the little plus button here at the bottom. Let's see. And we're going to add from an image. I'm going to import it from my photo gallery. We got our photo gallery open. And let's see. Which one do I want? Let's go with this one. And one of the most important things you want to look out for is to make sure that this says 300 pixels per inch. That's going to make sure that the document is big enough so that you can zoom in quite a bit without it going super pixelated on you. So just make sure that says 300. I think it defaults to 72, so you're probably going to have to change that. Go ahead and click create. Voila! It is open. So first things first, you have a panel at the top, a panel on this side, and a panel on this side. This is all of your brushes and erasers. If you click over here, these are going to be your most recent brushes. And then if you can scroll this, you can actually put whatever you want in here. So you have those to get to easily. And then these are going to be all the options for brushes. You do have shapes and textures. There's even halftones, so you can be real creative with those. Splatters. You have some glow, smudging, some other designer pencils, pastels, and colorless, colorless will help you with smudging and creating some of those designs, kind of like you did on my nails where you had the blooming gel. It made it like kind of disperse out. Those will help you to do that as well. So we're going to just go to the top. We're going to select the basic one. I'm just going to use this technical pen for now. But you can play around with those and see what you like. You can also change your settings for your pen in here. You can adjust the size from here and the opacity. I'm going to leave it pretty big. This one doesn't go too huge, so big on this canvas size isn't actually that big. There are advanced settings like pressure. If your pen is able to detect pressure, you can have it draw where if you have light pressure, it draws differently than if you have harder pressure. Depending on what pen you have, that may or may not matter. The stamp, the spacing of the stamp, the hardness, texture, and shape, and the randomness. This, I believe, applies more to the stamp. I'm not going to worry about adjusting any of this stuff, but just know that those options are in there, so if you want to play around with them, you can. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, oh, I almost forgot. Also, your layers panel is here. You can add as many layers as you like, and as you add layers, you can also grab your layer and you can move them around. Another thing is you can tap on the layer and it will give you more options. So you can cut, paste, duplicate a layer. You can also add adjustments onto a layer. You can add blending modes onto a layer. So if you have two different layers that you're working with, you can go in here and there's a bunch of different blending options for how you want that to blend on top of the layer below. Adjustments are going to be like, say you had a photo brought in, you want to adjust the brightness, you can come in here and do that. Blur might be very useful for blurring something in and out of a design. And then HSL, I don't know that you'll use these too much, but you could use them. Just play around again and see what works for you. Okay, so we're going to select our nail template layer. And the first thing that we're going to do up here is going to be our selection tool. If you do mess up and you need to go back, this is undo, and this is going forward to what you did, what you undid. Say you undid too far, there's your other arrow. So we'll go ahead and work with our selection tool first. We're going to grab this magic wand, and your tolerance is going to adjust this according to how you need it. You will have to mess around with this and see what works for you depending on what you're selecting. In this case, it doesn't really matter. We're just selecting a solid color, so it should react the same for the most part. You just don't want to have it too super high or it might just select the whole thing. So just have it decently low and we'll just go from there. In the middle here, we're going to tap on add so that we can select multiple things. We're going to start with selecting this big box here for the inspiration. And then we're going to go over here and select each circle. So we'll just tap on each circle. And then we're going to go through and tap on each nail. And now we are going to grab our eraser tool and we're going to erase what's within these selections that we've made. So grab your eraser tool. Over here on the side, you can adjust your brush size to big and small. You can also adjust your flow. We're going to have 100% flow, and you can make your eraser really big, so this is easy and fast. So you just start erasing. You can't really see what you're doing on the white, but for the nails you can see whether or not you're erasing. Then once you have everything erased, go up to the top here and you're going to hit the X to deselect all of those selections. Now we can go on the below layers and add color behind the nails. This is going to help so that whenever you're drawing and making designs, you don't have to worry about erasing around the edges of the nail. So let's grab our marker pen again. Let's see, we'll leave it big. And I'm gonna grab a color. We'll just go with brown. And now on this lower layer, just make sure it's below, we can go ahead and color all the nails. Now you could grab another brush that would be a lot bigger and it can make this a lot faster, but I'm just gonna stick with this one just to show you. So yes, that'll make it pretty easy, and then you can put any amount of layers below that first layer here and you can start designing. You can even put another layer on top and say, okay, now I want to design on top of this, and you know, go for it. One tool that I think you're really going to like is, well, let's merge these first and then I'll show you, because we won't be able to blend without it being merged. So tap on your layer, hit merge, and it's going to put those two layers together. Now come over here and there's this tool, it's pointed and it's called a smudge pen. You can adjust this pen also for the flow and the strength, so depending on what you need, kind of play around again and see what's going to work best for the design that you're doing. But you can take this and you can, oh, am I selected? Okay, yeah. You can smudge this. So I don't know if you can see what it's doing, but it's actually smudging. I have it really tiny, so it's having a hard time, but you can move it around. So this can help create an ombre effect. This can do all kinds of things depending on what you want, on what you're looking for. I made that brush really big, so I just kind of wiped it all away, but you can make it smaller and you could use it to create a really cool design, a really cool texture. Just depends what you're going for and what you're trying to do. I like that tool a lot. It's pretty useful. Okay, so the next part would be adding to your color palette. It's basically the same as the nails. You're going to want to make a new layer below. And again, you can add as many of these as you want, and then you're just going to select a brush to color with. You can select a new color from the color wheel. There are many options for colors. You have all these different color palettes that you can draw from. I believe if you purchase the premium version, which is $3, you can even add in an image that you want it to identify the colors from, and it will give you those colors to use very quickly, which is helpful. So you could do that too. We'll just select this color for now. So you'll just take it and color it in. Another way that you can do this is you can go to your nail layer, use your selection tool, grab your magic wand and click inside of the circle. Grab your color that you want and you can color, and it will not color outside of that circle. Tap your selection tool again and deselect. And there you go. You have some colors put in. For the inspiration, let's go ahead and add another image in. So we'll go over here to add image. We're going to pull from our photo gallery. Lots of pictures. I know I have some pictures of nails somewhere. Here they are. All right, let's go with this one. You can adjust this image as soon as it pulls it in from here. You can have it take up the whole box, or if you want to draw from a bunch of different images, you can make it smaller and put a whole bunch in there. You can also flip them whichever way you need them. So if it was the wrong direction, you can always flip it around. You can also rotate it if you needed to rotate it. You can change the distortion. So like if, I don't know, maybe you needed to play around with this. Who knows? I don't ever use that, but it's an option if you needed it. I probably just messed this up now, but that's okay. Once you're done adjusting, just tap done. you can select this layer and grab these little arrow tools to move this around again later. So it's not stuck in that place that you put it. You can always move it around. If you say you see something else you want to add to this inspiration board, you can still do that later, and you can move this around anytime. All right, another thing I want to show you is if we go back over to our color palette, I'm on that color palette layer. You can go over here to your colors and you can use the eyedropper tool. You can move this around on your inspiration picks and grab the colors that you want to use. If you don't want to purchase that premium version to take it in here and upload a picture and all that, this is another way you can do that. So again, your eyedropper tool, come over here, pick which color that you want. It'll populate it here and you can just go ahead and color it in. So you can grab all your colors that you want first, and as you're drawing down here, as you're drawing down here at the bottom, you can always use that eyedropper tool again and grab your colors from here. So you don't have to, I believe you can create your own palettes in here as well, which I don't know if that's a premium feature or not, but you can create your own color palettes. So you might want to do that if it's easiest. I would just go from here for now. It's relatively simple. Yeah. The next thing I want to show you is we'll go to a blank layer and we're going to go bring in some gems. So like this one has a little bow, and you might want to add in some gems or bows or things like that. What I did was I went to Amazon and screenshotted some, oh, not a bird. Showed it in screenshot, no bird. Okay, I did screenshot some gems that I would want to use in the design, or you might want to use in the design. What you can do is, luckily with Apple, you can long press and select things. The only thing with this is it needs to be on a lighter color background and the items need to be separate. Otherwise, it'll try to select all kinds of stuff. So again, you can just long press. Let's say we want the heart. You'll click copy. Go back to your sketchbook and on that layer, tap the layer and paste. We'll allow paste. It's going to paste it into our sketchbook. Right now I have it behind our nail layer, so it's hidden back there, but it's okay because we can move it. So I'll hit done. I'll go ahead and take this layer, long press it and move it up above, and now it's showing. So we'll grab our arrow tool with that layer selected, and then we can adjust the size. It like got away from me for a second. You can adjust the size of the heart or your gem to whatever size you need. Again, you can flip it however you need, skew it however you need, and then once you have it the way that you like it, just go ahead and hit done. We'll grab our arrows and we can move it around to wherever we want and hit done. So you can have as many layers as you need for your project. I would just be mindful of where they are in your document so that, you know, again, like the heart was behind here because it was on a lower layer. You don't want these to be above your nail layer because then it's going to look real crazy. That's not cute. So anywho, that's pretty much the basics. And that's pretty much everything. So we'll just go ahead and go over here. You can save to your gallery. However, if you just tap gallery, it'll ask you save to gallery. It'll take you back to your gallery. So then you can have your designs in here. The top arrow up here will take you over to your different albums. And you can pick a new album to start working from or to work in. One other thing I will mention is there are some cool tools in here. You can hide these, you know, the little eyeball, it's going to hide stuff for you, so you can just hide all of this stuff if you wanted to and create a new layer. Oh, grab it, move it up, move it on up. It's clear, and I hid our background layer, so that's why it looks like that. But I want to show you these tools because whenever you're making your strokes, let's say you're going to draw something, this is going to help your strokes be more fluid, and you can adjust how much adjustment it makes to your strokes. So if I do a bunch of adjustment, you can see it kind of corrects what I made. So like my circle looks more perfect. Whereas if I take it down to like a 1, you know, it's not fixing it like it did before. Whereas like a 5, you see how it kind of snaps into place. That can be really helpful for when you're drawing your designs out. Another thing that I'll mention, let's see, let's go ahead and erase this real quick. Although you don't have to do that. You can go over here and clear it, and that's much faster. Is this tool here. It's called Steady Stroke. So if you know you want to trace like a particular design, or maybe you want to be real steady with something, the longer you make this, you'll see it has like a longer leading line right here. The shorter or smaller the number, the shorter the leading line is. So this is going to, let's see, let's grab a pencil. And let's say we're going to, I don't know, try to make like something super steady. It will help you be more precise in your movements. So you can kind of see where your pen is, and your pen's not right on top of it. Hopefully that makes sense. This gives you a little bit more lead time with a longer line. But that could also be useful depending on what you're drawing. There's also a ruler tool here, so you can place these wherever you want them, and draw against them. So you can make like a precise shape. And you can move it however you want. So like if you wanted to, you know, make sure like this line crosses right at this point, you can move this ruler however you need it. There's a circle. You can change the circle to be a more perfect round circle, to be an oblong. This way you can get more perfected shapes and still use your brush stroke. There's also a shape drawing tool up here. So you have lines, circles, and squares. This is going to be your gradient and paint bucket tool. So if you wanted to, let's say, bring this up, you want to go up here, select a nail, right? Oh, I just deselected it. All right, good lesson there. Select a nail. We can grab our gradient fill tool, and you can put a gradient in the nail, so you don't have to actually color it in. This can help you be more precise with the gradient, and you can move this around to how you want it to be. I use the selection tool to keep it from going outside the lines because I added that right onto our template layer. But if you did that on a lower layer, it wouldn't matter. Although, no, I'm lying, it would matter because, let's see, let's go back here. So I'll undo adding that gradient. I have it still selected, but I'm going to go ahead and make a new layer and put it below the template. And then create the gradient, and you can move these around after the fact. Just start somewhere, you know. I believe, okay. So there we go, we got a gradient. I don't know if it'll let you go back in and adjust this gradient. I guess not. But now my question is, because I don't usually mess with this, how do we change the color? Can we go over here? Yes. And just tap on the color that you want. So you just select the circle you want and come and tap the color you want. And it'll change the color. Oh, I turned it sideways. That looks cute. Hit done, and there you go. Now we'll go ahead and deselect our nail. And now we have a super cool little gradient on our nail. I like that. That's pretty cool. I would suggest always selecting the nail before doing any gradient, because let's say we added a gradient without doing that. So this is again below our template. It does it to the whole thing. So now all the nails and everything is colored with a gradient. So definitely select it first and then add your gradient. Or you can even use a paint bucket, just drop the paint in on the ones you selected. Now I think what you could also do is, let's say you wanted to add a gradient to all the nails. You can go in and select each one, make sure you're on add. Oh, it helps to be on add, helps to be on the nail template. We're gonna grab all the nails. We'll just try this hand. Go back to our blank layer underneath. Grab this. So that could work really well too. Or if you're doing something long ways, this could be good to get all the nails out once. And there you go. All right, that's the end of my tutorial for you today. If you have any questions or if you think of anything, whoopsie, I forgot. We gotta grab this up here and then we can move this little gem around. But yeah, if you have any questions or anything, just let me know.